We're in Gulf Shores, Alabama right now. My name is Trisha Springstead. I'm a registered nurse.
Right.
And how many of these people know out there?
They don't.
They're out there swimming with their children. They're laying in the sun. They're being told that everything's clean.
Right, and it's not.
Yeah.
And to the eye, when you walk out on the beach, it looks real pretty. It looks real pretty until you go down a few miles. See, all the amenity beaches that make money for Gulf Shores and Orange Beach were deep clean, what they call deep clean. I don't consider it clean, okay? Because all they did was just kind of mix it up. And
we saw cranes here.
Oh, yeah. They dug it up. They dug down.
Yeah.
And then they sifted everything.
Right.
And so instead of a round tarball like this, now you got tiny little specks all over.
Well, and then last night we were finding big ones.
Right, right.
As the tide goes out.
And from what I understand, we have, in Baldwin County, we don't have an emergency management manager right now. They're supposed to be getting one next week or so. And we also don't have a hurricane plan in this county for this. You know, allegedly there are strike teams that if something comes up, they'll have a strike team.
You know what kind of strike teams I saw?
I can just imagine.
Guys on ATVs.
Yeah.
People in uniforms with guns.
Okay.
You know, those are the strike teams I saw down here.
Okay.
Trying to keep, so if seen.
Well, I do know this, at the end of June, there was a complete blackout at Bon Secours. They had an Alabama state trooper parked at Mobile Street, would not let you down there, no reporters, and a reporter got arrested out there. And I just have a sneaking suspicion that the only reason they didn't want anybody down there was so much dead sea life, because that was a refuge. That was a wildlife refuge.
And that's about where we saw them digging holes.
Yeah.
Big holes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm sure there was a lot there, and I know. I mean, I talked to people that were volunteers,
right,
that were getting harassed by wildlife, by Fish and Wildlife.
Well, even now today, if you go down there, the last time I was down there was on the anniversary on April 20th. I went down, and the minute that anybody gets wind of a camera down there, here comes Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like they're watching.
I've been arrested by Fish and Wildlife for screaming.
Yeah.
So I understand. You know
so we don't go down there.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to stay away from any exposure, so I don't come down here very often at all anymore, and that's hard.
Yeah.
You know, because
you love your water.
Absolutely.
You love your beaches.
Right.
You love the earth.
My mother-in-law has a little timeshare at Sanibel. And so we've been going down for years. And I did go down in October, and it was beautiful down there. And it's almost like the wildlife all migrated there. I have never seen so many dolphins and pelicans and birds and egrets in my life down there. And like I said, I've been going down there for years.
Right.
And there was just massive amount of wildlife.
And I'm concerned that this is going to move.
I am too.
Down in that area.
I've talked to a couple people from down in the Keys, and they said they're starting to see some tar mats and stuff. And the bad part is with Sanibel, the way it sits, it's an east to west barrier island. It's not a north to south, and that's why the beautiful shells and all that come in.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm very concerned. But I still plan on going in October. You know, got to look forward to something, and it's about the only beach.
Well, and I do believe that there are ways. We're working with Bioremediation, Inc., and we're also working with Steve Padigio. They're up in Washington right now fighting.
Right.
Barbara Wiseman of the Earth Organization they're up there fighting the fight, and Senator Crow.
Oh yeah.
And Congressman Markey have been so wonderful to me.
They have, but nobody else is listening, and it's drill baby drill. You
right.
know? And I want to see the new regulations. Where are those?
Right.
You know, we're supposed to have new regulations. Well, they've granted like 15 permits for deep water drilling.
Well, where are they?
You know, now I want to see the regulations, and I want to know what a response plan from an oil company looks like. The last ones we saw, I remember there were walruses living out here in the Gulf.
Yeah.
And it's some dead scientist. Okay.
So old.
I know. You know, some dead scientist that they were supposed to contact, and he had been dead for years.
Right.
And I don't see anything changing. The only thing I see changing is money changing hands.
That's right.
And that's absolutely it.
And smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
It's all smoke and mirrors, guys. They say the water's clean. They say the fish is great. They say that people are healthy. Well, let me tell you, you come down here and you eat and you swim and you go in that water and you stay on that beach and you breathe that air for any long period of time, you're going to pay the piper. Until you demand, and until the people demand, that we become a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Right.
And that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And it's a God-given right.
And that's a God-given right.
As far as like clean air, clean water, that's the one thing that in a country that is supposed to be as powerful as the United States of America, we can't even have that.
We can't even have
And what also bothers me is the fact that these oil companies prey upon poor indigenous people. Okay, you take a look at Alaska. Those were the Inuits. Okay, and beautiful, pristine area. And that's what they take advantage of. And you look at Louisiana. And you look at those good Cajun people.
Right on the bayous.
Right on the bayous, lived there all their lives, generation after generation, the Indian tribes.
Right.
Okay, and that water was their life's blood. And you take that away.
Yeah.
You take it all away. For what?
Yeah.
You know?
For barrels of oil?
Well, yeah. And for the industrial military complex.
Right.
You know, we're fighting all these wars,
right.
You know, for what?
And I've said this a lot of times. I'm a Marine brat. My dad was 23-year Marine Corps. Get our guys out of these other countries.
Absolutely.
Bring them home. Let's isolate and clean up the mess we've got here.
Right.
Give us a few years to catch our breath. Let's get the people healthy. Let's clean up the environment.
Right.
And then we will become a power.
Right.
A power for good.
Right.
Because right now I don't really feel like I don't even know my country anymore.
No, and I've seriously thought about becoming an expat. You know, I've looked at the living conditions in Panama. But, you know, it's like my husband will be retiring in about 10 years. And we got to stick it out.
Yeah.
You know, I've made one move, dipped into the retirement fund to make the one move from the Chicago area down here. I can't do it again right now, so now it's just a matter of trying to stick it out, get well enough to be able to proceed with the golden years, if those ever come.
Right.
You know?
Well, you know, and I have to say that you give me hope. I mean, I'm looking at you, and I know you're sick. I know you don't feel well. I know you have no energy.
Well, I don't have a lot of energy, but I'm not, I got to stress this. There are other people out there so much sicker than I am.
Yeah.
Okay, they can't breathe.
Yeah, I've heard them on the phone, saw them on the...
Yeah. Okay, they can't breathe, and especially Mississippi. Somebody's got to do something about Mississippi.
And I really think that I really do believe that what they need to do. I spoke with a woman yesterday, and she said they saw dead fish all over the beach.
Oh, it's horrible.
And I said, you know, why don't we just pack up this fish and send it to our legislators that aren't listening?
Right.
You know, pack it up and send it to them so they can see what it is.
Right.
You know, or put it on their front doorstep.
Right.
You know, because we certainly don't
want to look at it. Or the dead sea turtles that they're just leaving alive. They're not even testing. You know, and there was an article the other day that doctor from over at Sea Lab over here at Dr. Island, what's his name, Cronin?
I don't know.
Okay, well, he had said...
Dolphin Sea Lab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, they got millions of dollars from BP to research all this. Well, you know, whatever. And anyways, this Dr. Cronin, I believe his name was predicting that our dead zone in the Gulf is now going to be the size of Israel. Okay? The dead zone. And it's from the flood. It's from the flood. Now, we all know that every year the Mississippi washes all that stuff down the river.
We had a dead zone the size of New Jersey before the spill.
Exactly.
If they would read Michael Pollan's articles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we always have known for the last 50 years we've had a dead zone. As long as there's been an industrialized nation, there's been a dead zone in the Gulf from everything washing down
the runoff,
from the runoff on the Mississippi. Well, now, within 2 weeks of this flood, this man from Dolphin Island Sea Lab predicts that there's going to be one the size of Israel. But yet, they cannot test one single dolphin. They cannot test one single sea turtle. It's all locked up. NOAA has all those tissue samples, but yet they can't release anything or tell us anything. It's been over a year now, 14 months. Okay?
They don't want us to know.
They don't want us to know. But they'll put it off on the flood. They'll put it off on this. It's always something else.
Yeah.
And it's always because they have to protect the butts of the oil companies.
That's right. And
because
the money.
The oil companies run this country.
And the money.
Yeah.
That's right.
They run this country. They are the ones that are dictating policy to our puppet politicians.
That's right. And and I do see a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot, and even going into a legislative meeting and looking at some of these people.
Oh, I know.
I mean, there's such a disconnect.
Absolutely.
With the people. We the people. Who are you working for? You're working for big money, big oil, big pharma, big food.
That's what they are. They're puppets for the corporations.
Right.
And there has to come a point in the United States where the people say, no more. And there has to be a separation of corporation and state. There needs to be the 28th Amendment in the United States.
Well, if they would have stuck with the First Amendment, we wouldn't need a 28th Amendment.
Exactly.
And if they'd have left the amendments the way they were, we wouldn't need a 28th Amendment. But yes, we do need a 28th Amendment.
To separate this, because the company's voices is their money. Okay? Money has become speech. And the Supreme Court allowed that to happen. We, as the people, I wasn't even aware that was going on until all this oil spill.
Right.
It just, the snowball just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, and the bigger you dig, the uglier it gets. The more you see that big oil was embedded with MMS, and they were all whoring around together.
Yep.
You could see Dick Cheney in '92 went behind closed doors, and he said to the oil cartels, what can we do for you?
Exactly.
What can we do for you? And so then what they did was they deregulated a $500,000 acoustic kill switch.
Right.
Poor Jeannie Pascal, who's been fighting this battle for years and years, and the powers that be have shut her up and shut her up and shut her up. Right. She was trying to tell us this is what's happening.
Right.
I've talked to people in Texas that are sick, that have been sick for years.
Right.
That live all around these oil refineries and the oil companies.
Right.
And we've had the opportunity to go to alternative energy.
Right.
It's been there. Eisenhower warned us about the military-industrial complex.
Right.
We had the chance. We've had the chance the last 10 administrations, and they have just kept going for the oil.
Yeah.
So, I get it. But the bottom line is, and my bottom line in this whole situation is that if we don't take care of these people, and if we don't bioremediate the mess we have right now, we're going to lose a lot of people.
From the comfort of a dreamer's bed and the safety of my own head, when I'm speaking of the future where other people fought and fled, the kid I was when I first left home was looking for his freedom and a life of his own, but the freedom that he found wasn't what I see, but the truth was gone. I am free for America. By the dawn's early light, by all I know is right, we're gonna reap what we have sown.